So, seeing as I didn't talk at all the last time, this there's a song about. Some people might have heard the story before. Anyway, there's a song about a time where I was sitting in my house in Ireland. For whatever reason, in Ireland, we have this, or had, it's a little changed now, but this tendency to have, Ireland has a lot of clouds and a lot of grey weather, and then we have this tendency as well in Ireland to put up these net curtains that just blocks out during the daytime any possible sunshine that could come in. It just helps stop the sunshine coming in, and it stops the neighbours looking in as well. But I remember I was sitting in my parents' house at the time. I had moved out, and I was a musician, and I had no money left, and then I had to move back in with my parents, and so I was a bit depressed after having, in my 20s, moving back in with my parents, sitting there, and I was like, oh my God. And I was staring out through the window of my old kid bedroom with the kid wallpaper, and I had the net curtain over my head like this. I looked like a nun, with the net curtain doing this up against the window and my nose up against and I was breathing. And as I would breathe out, it would create condensation on the window. So it was and I had this game that I would play with myself, which was I would see if I could hold my breath for as long as the condensation was on the window. So I'd go, and I'd hold, and then the condensation would start moving backwards. It would start fading away, and I'd hold. Anyway, I'm not going to do it all for you now, but I would sit there until it was all gone, and I'd take another breath, and then I'd do the same again. And I guess that it got me through this sort of feeling of depression. Anyway, at one moment, I decided, just an idea popped into my mind of like, oh, why don't you go outside and maybe go visit a friend or something? So I went over to a friend of mine who had bigger windows and they didn't have net curtains. And so I went to visit her and took the bus over, and when I got there, she was all jolly and, hey, how's it going? And I was like, oh, fine. And she's like, what's wrong? I was like, oh, I don't know. It was just one of those days. Anyway, she said, hey, look, you should just stay here tonight. In fact, you can sleep in my bed. And we had been friends for years, and there was never really a thought in my head before. Well, there was, but never really too many thoughts about this particular girl, because we were friends, And when she said this line, you can sleep in my bed tonight, my world stopped. Hers continued for about a second and a half, and then she said the next thing. But in that second and a half, I had 10 hours where I was like, whoa, I imagined the whole thing, her bed. So I had a whole, like in a movie, which is a whole, another life in that short span of. Anyway, I woke up out of the movie a second and a half later when she said, yeah, my sister's gone away, so I'll stay in hers. And I was like, oh yeah, of course, great, brilliant, okay, I'll stay then, And she tucked me into bed, as a good friend does, and she basically had no net curtains on her window, and she said, you can stare at the stars tonight, because in Ireland what happens generally is, it's beautiful, it gets cloudy during the day, so we have no sunshine, and then at night all the clouds feck off, and we're like, thanks. So generally we have bright dark skies at night, so you can look at the stars. Anyway, I lay there, and she said goodnight, and she said, just spend a bit of time with yourself, and tomorrow you'll feel so much better. And I was like, okay. She went to bed. I spent a little bit of time with myself, and she was right. I mean, I did feel better. Not for long, but I did feel better for a little while. And then I had the whole ordeal of cleaning it all up, and so because it wasn't my bed, and so that was, But anyway, I went home the next day and wrote this song. So this is a song that's all about all sorts of stuff. Nothing unusual, nothing strange, close to nothing at all. The same old scenarios, the same old rain, and there's no explosions here. Something unusual, something strange, come from nothing at all. I saw a spaceship just fly by your window. Did you see it disappear? Amie, come sit on my wall and read me the story of old. Tell it like you still believe at the end of the century brings a change for you and me. Nothing unusual, nothing's changed, just a little older, that's all. You know when you found it, there's something I've learned. It's 'cause you feel it when they take it away. Hey, 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 something unusual, something's changed. You come from nothing at all. I'm not a miracle and you're not a saint, but just another soldier on the road to nowhere. And Amie, come sit on my wall and read me the story of old. And tell it like you still believe at the end of the century there's a change for you and me. And Amie, come sit on my wall and read me the story of old. Tell it like you still believe that the end of the century brings a change for you.